From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
A crash on the city's east side kills 3 people. Now at 4:30, what police say led to the deadly collision. Plus,
he was a role model to me. He was such an amazing person.
An IU student on a dream trip killed in New York City. This morning, the latest on the search for his killer and an emotional message from his parents. And
I'm just amazed that this is the turnout that I'm seeing. It's awe-inspiring.
Thousands of people lining up to cast their ballots over the weekend. This morning, we're talking to those who spent hours in line and looking at how this year compares to the 2016 election. At 4:30, we do want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning. I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is joining me in studio this morning. Oh, Todd, Monday came around early and quick. What can people expect as they head out the door this morning?
Those weekends go so quick here, Lauren.
Do.
And as we go out the door on this Monday, there's a little bit of mist out there in some spots across the area, but nothing that's going to hold you back as far as your commute to work or as the kids head off to school. 45 degrees, that is the current temperature, and you see the cloud cover that is firmly in place. And unfortunately, that cloud cover not going to go anywhere here throughout the course of the day today. Temperature-wise, we're in the 40s, so as you probably almost need every day here going forward. The light jacket, 44 in Lafayette as well as Peru, 45 in Indy. Bloomington currently up to 48 degrees, and you can see the clouds, and there's been a few more what we'll call significant showers in northern Indiana overnight, but that will not impact us. But as we expand out, you do notice some snow off to the west, and that will be heading our way. Not as snow because our temperatures will be well above the freezing mark, but we will build in some rain showers later on this afternoon. So just a cloudy and cool start for us. Temperatures will hold pretty steady in the 40s throughout the morning hours, then eventually climbing up into the low 50s later on this afternoon as some of those showers build in. We'll talk about those showers and show you the timeline using TrueCast coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's get a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. This is in the downtown area, I-65, a view here from St. Clair Street between the north and south splits. You can see traffic here is pretty quiet this morning, so that is great news. Let's take you up to Fishers at I-69, a look here at 106th Street. You can see traffic there is quiet as well. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads this morning as you're heading out on the roads. Right now, no crashes to slow you down, so that is good news. This morning, we are just 8 days away from the general election, and over the weekend, voters here in Marion County spent hours waiting in lines to cast their ballots. On Saturday, Marion County added 5 additional voting sites. The polling machines were supposed to mean less waiting, but officials say that they're being careful when it comes to adding machines because social distancing is a must. One voter told us that this was her first time voting, and it's like nothing she's expected.
I wasn't expecting to be in line for 7 hours, but it was worth it. I'm happy I got to get my vote in and exercise my right.
To me, it's what people died for, so I will vote any and every time that I can. And this one here, to be early, just made it even better because I wanted to make sure that I didn't have to wait until the end.
Well, these early voting sites are open to voters from 10 to 5 on weekends and 11 to 7 during the week until November 1st. You can also vote early at the City County building downtown leading up to Election Day. We have a list of the locations that are now open at WRTV.com/election2020. Pre-election voting this year has now surpassed that of 2016. Back then, about 61 million Americans cast their ballots early. This year's total is just above that with 9 days to go until the election. A new survey shows a little more than half the people who voted already did so in the 16 most competitive states. This morning, Texas is a leader when it comes to the number of early voters. 7 million Texans have voted early. This morning, at least 3 people have died following a crash on the city's northeast side. The crash happened around 9:30 Sunday night on Massachusetts Avenue near 34th and Arlington. Police tell us 2 vehicles were involved. They believe one vehicle T-boned the other. 2 people in one of the vehicles died and 1 person in the other vehicle died. The victims' identities have not been released. Police in New York City are still investigating the death of an Indiana University student. 20-year-old Ethan Williams from Indianapolis died after being hit by a stray bullet in Brooklyn. Ethan, a film major, was in the Big Apple working on a documentary with friends. His parents say the sophomore was sitting on the stoop of an Airbnb when gunfire erupted. They say New York was his dream.
When Ethan was a little guy, 3 or 4 years old, he saw Spider-Man and he fell in love with New York.
His hope was always to go to graduate school in New York. That was the dream.
No arrests have been made in Ethan's death. As police continue to look for his killer, his parents have a message for those responsible.
They need to understand that their actions have consequences beyond the moment. And, like, turn yourself in, do what's right, let our family have peace.
Ethan graduated with 4 honors diplomas from Franklin Central High School. He was also part of the city's first Mayor's Honor Council. Indiana University officials say there are counseling services available to students on campus. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and the impact on our state. This morning, state health officials confirmed 2,175 new coronavirus cases. Since the pandemic began, nearly 163,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. Sunday's number of new cases was the lowest since Thursday. State health officials also say 12 more Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Since March, nearly 3,900 Hoosiers have died with the coronavirus. October has brought a big spike in the number of coronavirus deaths. So far this month, 494 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. That's 207 more deaths than reported in July. ASTRAZENECA will resume working on an experimental coronavirus vaccine. The drug maker paused its trials back in September after one of their volunteers developed a serious health condition. The FDA then reviewed their safety precautions and made sure that the symptoms were not brought on by the shot. Late last week, the company got the green light to restart working on a possible vaccine. Late-stage trials are expected later this year. An investigation into a racist incident at Brown County High School has led to the suspension of a staff member. We first told you that a page of the school's yearbook identified a black student as, quote, black guy. Officials with Brown County Schools say they believe the content was created by the yearbook's faculty advisor. No students were involved. The advisor will no longer serve in that role, and he is suspended without pay for 2 weeks. District leaders say they continue to have meaningful conversations with students, families, and members of the community to make sure something like this never happens again. Coronavirus concerns surrounding Vice President Mike Pence's team, who were here in Indy on Friday. Still ahead, why the VP shows no sign of slowing down despite recent cases in Pence's close circle. One final race for INDYCAR's bizarre 2020 season, plus another championship for Scott Dixon. Brad Brown catches up with the now 6-time title winner in just a bit. But first, Todd.
And Lauren, it's nice and quiet this morning here across central Indiana, just cloudy. But you look off to the west and you see some precipitation, which is actually some snow moving through parts of Iowa into Kansas, back into Colorado. That moisture's heading our way. Thankfully, no snow for us. We'll talk all about it, though, coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast. When Good Morning Indiana continues in just a couple minutes.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:40 here on your Monday. This is a live look right now out in Denver, Colorado, where you can see some snow coating the buildings there and coating the grass. No snow here in the Circle City, but we're going to get a look at our forecast for the week ahead with Todd Clausen coming up in just a bit. Well, a new COVID outbreak has hit the White House. At least 5 people in Vice President Mike Pence's circle have tested positive, including his chief of staff. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has that, plus the latest on the race for the White House.
Mr. Vice President, why are you still traveling?
Despite a small slip while coming off Air Force 2 and a COVID outbreak in his inner circle this weekend, Vice President Mike Pence shows no signs of slowing down, holding a rally in North Carolina last night.
We're all standing out here in the rain for one reason and one reason only, and that is that North Carolina and America need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House.
At least 5 people close to the vice president recently tested positive for COVID-19. Pence aide Marty Obst testing positive Wednesday. The White House then revealing Pence's chief of staff, Mark Short, also tested positive. Short was seen here with the vice president Friday. The White House says the vice president and the second lady tested negative Sunday and says Pence will maintain his schedule in accordance with the CDC guidelines for essential personnel. Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris, who suspended campaigning when a member of her staff tested positive, took aim at her opponent.
I think we have modeled the right and good behavior, and they should take our lead.
Meanwhile, President Trump at the White House last night handing out candy to children of healthcare workers and military families. Overnight, the Trump team seizing on the Halloween spirit, releasing this new ad mocking Joe Biden as a zombie.
exhibits aggressive behavior, craves human flesh, and utters incoherent moans and groans.
I don't know why.
With your help, we can prevent the zombie uprising.
Despite all the ads and the two debates, a new ABC News Ipsos poll shows the favorability of both candidates remains relatively unchanged since the summer. So far, an unprecedented 58 million ballots have already been cast in the election, and now a new push to secure ballots after surveillance video captured someone setting a drop-off box on fire in Boston. Officials say 122 ballots were inside, 87 were able to be salvaged and processed.
I sent out an urgent directive this afternoon to secure ballot drop boxes, if at all possible, have them inside of municipal facilities.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
At 4:43, the United States will soon have its first African-American Roman Catholic cardinal. He's Archbishop Wilton Gregory, who serves in Washington, D.C. Pope Francis named Gregory and a dozen others for elevation after his Angelus prayer Sunday. Gregory will become a cardinal during a ceremony on November 28th. He came to Washington from Atlanta after his predecessor resigned over his handling of the church sex abuse scandal. This morning, folks all along Louisiana Gulf Coast are once again keeping an eye on a close tropical weather. This time it's Tropical Storm Zeta. The tropical storm is expected to become a hurricane later today and make landfall Wednesday. Louisiana has already taken a beating this year. Cristobal, Laura, Marco, and Delta all making landfall there earlier this year. Hurricane season officially ends on November 30th. Back here at home, Todd, let's get a look at our Monday forecast for folks in the Hoosier State.
You know, it's a pretty quiet morning for us here, Lauren, all across Indiana. And while it is quiet, we are dealing with cloud cover. So we don't have those clear skies to walk you out, and we're not banking on much in the way of sunshine here throughout the day today. But as I'll show you in just a second, thankfully we aren't dealing with a lot of snow across parts of central Indiana, which they are off to our west. 45 degrees, that is the current temperature. The wind is out of the north at 6 miles per hour. And it's a little cool out there, so you definitely need to have the light jacket handy. We're down to 42 right now in Richmond. As you work your way down into the Martinsville area, 44. In Bloomington, currently sitting at 48 degrees. So with the cloud cover in place, temperatures really aren't going to do a whole lot throughout the course of the day today. We're sitting in the mid-40s right now, and that's where we stay all the way through at least about 10 a.m. And then eventually this afternoon, temperatures will just slowly start to creep up into the low 50s across the area. Now, as the temperatures come up in the afternoon hours, that's also when we're going to start to bring in the chance of some showers. We think we'll probably be until about 4 or 5 o'clock that we start to bring the steady rainfall in. I do think there will be a little bit of patchy drizzle and some mist out there before that here throughout the afternoon hours. I had a little on my windshield driving into work here this morning, but it was not enough to put the windshield wipers on. So just don't be surprised if you encounter that as you get going to kick off the new work week here. But here is the snow off to our west. They even had a little just north of Chicago yesterday, and you can see that accumulating snow is here across parts of Wichita. Now we'll be above freezing, as I showed you, with those temperatures in the 50s, so we're only looking at rain, but we'll deal with the rain showers moving in here later on this evening. Again, most of the day is going to be dry. Here we are at the noon hour, and then as we continue into the 4 o'clock hour, here's when the showers overspread the area. So Monday evening is going to be wet across the area. So if you're thinking about getting a workout or some exercise in outdoors, anytime before 4 o'clock is going to be better than in the evening hours after work. You can kind of hunker down a little bit as these rain showers move in, as it turns into a pretty wet evening for us. And then some of these showers are going to continue into Tuesday as well, although by the time we get to Tuesday, they're going to be a little more spotty in nature. How much in the way of rainfall are we looking at? Well, probably not much to the north. There's going to be a pretty sharp cutoff here in the northern locations, but as we get to some southern locales, easily about 1/4 to maybe 3/10 of an inch of rain in spots. So that's going to be a pretty good soaking for you down to the south. Temperatures this evening with those rain showers will be falling from the 40s and then holding pretty steady as we go into the overnight hours. Tomorrow you wake up about 42 degrees to start your day off. Tomorrow's another cloud-filled day. It's another chilly day as we reinforce the cooler air once the precipitation comes to an end later on this evening, as high temperatures will be topping off only right around 46 to 49 degrees tomorrow. We get a little bit bit brighter and as a result a little bit warmer as we head into the day on Wednesday at 59 degrees. Thursday, more showers move their way into the area, and then as we get into Halloween and the weekend, it actually looks pretty nice across the area with partly cloudy skies, Lauren, and temperatures climbing into the low to mid 50s.
Oh, we always like a nice Halloween forecast, Todd. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Monday morning. I-465 and Ditch Road up on the north side. We can see traffic is moving both eastbound and westbound with no problems, so that is great news. Let's take you down here to the southwest side of town. I-465 near State Road 67, Kentucky Avenue. Same story there. Traffic's traveling up to speed in all directions. We'll let you know if there are any crashes or trouble spots you need to avoid this Monday morning. INDYCAR's year started with the season being canceled before the first race in St. Petersburg, Florida. They were able to come full circle and close out the season there on Sunday and crown a new series champion. Our Brad Brown was there to talk to him.
All right, St. Pete is in the books. The 2020 season is in the books, and the champion is here. Scott Dixon, for the 6th time, the INDYCAR Series champion. You guys came into the day talking about kind of playing it safe, kind of getting through this. Did that strategy ever change, or did you have to just kind of adjust as the day went on here?
Yeah, I think, obviously we came in a great situation. It was kind of daunting, though. I think at one point we had a 117-point lead, and it dwindled to under 20. Today was more about, management and trying to understand what the one car was going to do. We didn't want to fall into a situation where there was a caution that flipped the field. They'd come in already and pitted, and then we're at the back and they're at the front, So a lot of management, but I think, between all three cars on the Ganassi squad, I think we tried to make sure that we could cover all bases. Even if Joseph, short pitted, we had a car that was going to cover him. So yeah, it was a stressful day, man. The restarts were crazy. The pace car was really slow, so we couldn't generate any tire temperature, and it was yellow after yellow after yellow in some scenarios. But I think it was a mega race. It must have been a mega race to watch because there was just so much going on.
It was more entertaining than it needed to be because of those cautions. And talk to me about that. You had one and then it turned into 5 or 6, and every time you were in the middle of something there that was trying its very best to avoid.
Yeah, I think I was pretty lucky for a lot of it. I had Askew behind me for a good period of time, then Bourdais, and then VK, who was actually laps down. So they were actually kind of good buffers. I had a bit of a moment, I think, with Harvey in turn 6, 7 portion where he ran me really wide, and I don't know if he was just struggling with grip, but we actually hit, and I thought we may have broken the wing there. But those are the most stressful parts of the day. It was all these restarts. You kind of get into a flow, and we were okay. We only needed to be 11th. And or 11th or better, and when you have all these restarts, you can have somebody that's going to take you out, fall over you, you make a mistake, and that was all I was trying to get past.
Through all of that, the team once again, great pit stops, great strategy. Just kind of, you talked about this a little up on the podium. All of the guys wearing that CGR logo had a hand in this.
Absolutely. All the boys and girls at Chip Ganassi Racing, whether it's with the Husky Chocolate team, the number 8, or, NTT Data with the number 10. And obviously the PNC Bank number 9 this year just had a tremendous year. We started off great as a team, winning the first 4 races. And it was great to see Felix get his first, win in IndyCar too. But I'm a small part of this. I love doing what I do. I've been with this team for 19 years, and I'm so thankful for the great, boys and girls that I get to work with, year out and year in, and this is what championships are about, and I'm so happy for them that we can celebrate another year of winning a championship.
I've had a couple hours to chew on this. What does 6 mean? What does number 6 mean to you?
6 sounds a lot better than 5. I don't know. 7 sounds better than 6. So it's I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to chilling maybe a little bit tonight, having a couple of beers, spending it with my lovely wife and my kids that are here. Unfortunately, Kit, our little baby boy, he couldn't make it this weekend, but hopefully we can celebrate next year with him.
Got it on the DVR for the other one.
That's right.
That's it. Congrats, man.
Thanks, man.
Good.
Cheers.
Scott Dixon, now a 6-time IndyCar Series champion.
Brad, thank you so much. Well, the City of Angels may soon have another heavenly moment. Los Angeles beat Tampa Bay 4-2 in Game 5 of the World Series Sunday night. That means the Dodgers are 1 win away from a championship crown. LA has been in 3 World Series over the last 4 seasons, but have fallen short each time. Last time the Dodgers won, it was all the way back in 1988. Game 6 of the Fall Classic is scheduled for tomorrow night. Well, these swimmers out in Australia coming incredibly close to sharks off the coast of Sydney. Just after the breakaway, the swimmers say they had no idea they were in danger. Plus, Amy Coney Barrett is expected to get a few steps closer to her appointment to the Supreme Court. Coming up all new at 5 o'clock, we're breaking down the events expected to happen today. It's 4:52 rather, on your Monday morning. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. Well, this is video you have to see to believe. People swimming in Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia had a really close call with several sharks. Drone video showing dozens of people taking a morning swim past a large school of salmon. Swimmers there completely unaware that 2 sharks were feeding on the fish nearby. One swimmer even swam right over the shark at one point. Yikes. Well, experts say the massive school of salmon were around Bondi for about an hour. Australia has recorded a total of 21 shark attacks for the year 2020. Todd, have you been out that way when you were in Australia?
I was in Australia, but I don't think I was there.
Oh, well, luckily you didn't swim next to any sharks like this. That's a little scary.
I did swim, but I didn't venture out too far.
Yeah.
All right, outside right now, we have cloudy conditions, and we're cloudy throughout the entire day today. Not much sunshine is heading our way, but we will see some showers develop later on this afternoon. Then it turns into a little more of a steady rainfall this evening. So if you have evening plans, you are going to need to have the rain gear handy. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, 49 degrees, a little brighter on Wednesday before we get more showers into the forecast on Thursday, followed by a quiet weekend with partly cloudy skies and temperatures that'll be climbing up into the 50s and 60s. The time now is 4:57. Raphael joins Lauren and I. Coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.